everyone, this is my second video recording for this weekend. I get the feeling though that this one might go up first because it's probably going to be a tad bit shorter than my last one. Things that went kind of awry with my planning, and so I'm kind of doing this when I can. And I just want to give like a huge thank you to all of you who watched the Feminist Land Whale video. I am currently dealing with a little bit of family drama, and seeing your comments was just such a nice and uplifting thing. So, I mean, thank you. You guys brightened my day today, seriously. So today, since I don't have a whole lot of time, I figured we'd cover Marissa because she doesn't require as much energy as Fat Sapphic Bro or Fat Dr. UK. So we're going to go ahead and start it. She's more of a loud child than anything else. So it's just not, it doesn't take as much focus and effort, and she doesn't put forth like bogus studies or really old studies that I feel the need to kind of actually look into and figure out what it's actually saying and all that. She just kind of complains. So let's just go ahead and start the video.
10, 20s and the 50s, bitch. I'm a motherfucking star. Look at the paint on.
So her caption says, when you have your own fan hate club because you exist in a fat body. And I just want to say, holy God, does she miss the fucking point. No one that I know of hates her because she exists in a fat body. I really don't give a fuck that she's fat. And quite frankly, I've become a little immune to her wailing and crying on the internet. But ultimately, it comes down to the fact that she's very rude, she's very unlikable, and she's constantly crying victimhood. She is putting forth completely misinformed ideas of what consent is. She is being a crybaby at the same time. And it's just, she's just kind of a toxic person. And when toxic people are on the internet, yeah, you're gonna have some opposition. If I had to choose the reasons why I disliked Marissa, though, if I absolutely had to put her existing in a fat body somewhere on my list, if that was like a requirement, it would not even break the top 20. So I think it goes to show, though, that she doesn't really listen to the criticism she gets. She groups it all as hate and doesn't understand some people can criticize you without attacking you. I feel like she hasn't developed that mental process yet. So her caption says, I don't like your body, get off the internet. Once again, she's completely missing what the issue that a lot of people have with her. I don't care that she has a fat body. I don't care how she dresses. I don't care if she is a sex worker and has sex with multiple people. I have a little bit of concern for that about her health, but it's her life. And I'm going to assume she knows what she's doing, at least in regards to that. But her saying that, commenting anything about the video in her comments that is not positive, which is basically what she said. She's like, if you give me unsolicited diet advice that I didn't consent to, that's harassment. And she has a complete misunderstanding of what consent is in terms of the comment section. Again, her being fat is so far down the list of issues, it's might as well not be applicable. Her fat activist content is a little bit more of the issue, but even then, it's her personality more than anything. Another thing with Marissa, the caption says, when people keep bringing shit up from the past, but to her, the past could be 6 months ago. Like, if you never, like, I'm curious what some of the stuff in the comments says. Y'all, I'm self-aware enough to apologize for things I deem appropriate. I haven't said sorry. If I haven't said sorry, it's because I'm not sorry, so leave me alone about it. And then this person says, "You're truly beautiful." She says, "Oh, thank you." Someone said, Bana, something like that. If someone brought something up from your past to hold you accountable, would you be mad at them? And the person's like, period, no much talk, and this kind of face. But the thing is that it's like, I, I don't, it's just such a childish. I'm self-aware enough to apologize if I deem it like appropriate to apologize. But if I haven't, then I'm not sorry and don't bug me about it. It's like, no, that's not how the internet works. I'm sorry. If that's what you want, then private your comments. Like, turn off your comments or something. Turn off your DMs or whatever. You think you can do that on TikTok. Like, if you don't want to be held accountable for stuff you did in the past because you're not sorry for it, then get off the internet. I have said some stuff in my past videos that some people brought to my attention how that was unfair and kind of a naive look at things, particularly with fat people going to the doctor and doctors not listening to them, and me kind of brushing them off wholesale in the beginning. I learned through some of the comments that's like, okay, that's not entirely fair, because there are times when the doctors just don't take you as seriously as they should. Fair enough. I still defend doctors a little bit, saying they are human and sometimes people make mistakes, and I think the vast majority of them do the best they can. But that's a more nuanced take than I had in the beginning. If it's something like that, talk about it. If you just wholeheartedly did something that most people view as wrong and you don't, you can just say that, but then be prepared for people to continue to bring it up. You can't control what other people comment and what other people do. That's not how the internet works. It's just such, more than anything, it just feels like a very immature and childish take on how things should be moving forward.
I really like your body. I really like your body. I really want to get naughty. I think you're so.
So the caption says, just a reminder, if you don't think fat people are attractive, it doesn't mean everyone else agrees with you. Fair enough. And that's the only other one. Otherwise, it's just her dancing. I'm not going to say that that's wrong. There are people out there that find obesity attractive. There are. I'm not saying that that's not the case. Personally, I think with the whole fat acceptance group, arguing aesthetics and arguing attractiveness is arguing more on their terms than on yours. They want to make it about aesthetics. They want to make it about, you want to control me so I'm attractive to you and I like lose my body autonomy that way. Or by saying that you're pushing an unhealthy beauty standard and I'm beautiful just the way I am. Don't even engage in the beauty talk. It's not even worth it. I don't think that beauty is so subjective. I don't think that that's even worth arguing. Really. I don't care about that. I care about you saying that you're just as healthy as you are, that I have more concerns, quite frankly, with them trying to control other people and saying that it is a form of like harassment or fat phobia or what the fuck ever they want to say it is by posting before and after pictures, and people engaging in trends that they then want to claim was only for fat girls. And it's that kind of gatekeeping bullshit and the trying to control others that I have far more of an issue with if we're going to get to some sort of social issue. That they're trying to control other people is something I have more of an issue with than whether they're beautiful or not. I really don't care.
If promoting obesity is what it takes to make other fat people feel hot, obviously I'm gonna do that. So yes, I am promoting.
So the caption she has over this is, just a reminder, I am fully clothed and my body is not a violation. Oh my god. So I think this is in relation to some community guideline violations or something that she's gotten before. And to that I say, I don't think that it's because you're fat. We've seen you in plenty of clothes that are rather sheer and we can see your nipples through them. That could catch on sensors. I realize that I had said some stuff about her wearing a bra that some people didn't appreciate, And that's fine. That's fair. She's in her own house. She can wear a bra or not wear a bra. That's up to her. But I still stand by that if you are on social media and we can see your nipples through your shirt and that's caught by the censors and then they deem it a community guideline violation for sexually explicit content, sorry, then either put tape over your nipples, wear a bra, change the clothing that you wear, something. That's probably what's catching the censors. It's not a matter that you're fat and therefore you just catch the censors that way. She can point out all she wants that, well, there's other girls that do that too. Their nipples show through and they don't get caught. That is one way in which, yeah, your weight probably does play a role because you have bigger boobs. So it's more likely to be caught by the censors. And it's not just a fat girl problem, it's just a big-chested girl problem. It's just the way it goes sometimes. If you don't like it, do something about the nipple area.
Obesity. Stay mad. Thank you so much.
So anyway, yeah, I don't think that the primary issue though is her weight. Her weight probably plays a role just because it kind of contributes to how big her boobs are and what's more likely to be caught by the censors. But I don't think the little in the description she says, I'm literally wearing a dress, stop being fat phobic. She's wearing a dress that I don't think would have gotten tripped by the censors because there's a lot of like ruching and so it hides that more. I would have been surprised if this had been caught by the censors, but there are some others where it's looks more revealing, I guess is the best way to put that.
Okay, so something I'm just like really, really, really confused about is how I just posted a video of myself standing there looking like into the camera while it zoomed in on my face. And like I was fully clothed, yet it got deleted and then it won't be restored because apparently it violates applicable laws. So I'm just like really confused how me staring at a camera and it zooming in on me being fully clothed, I'm just confused how that's against the law somewhere. Like, what the fuck, TikTok? What the fuck?
So I really wish I could see what outfit she was wearing. Was it the same one that we saw? That would have surprised me if that had tripped the censors. I wish I could have seen the video because I'm curious, was she wearing something a bit more revealing or a bit thinner based on how it zoomed? Did it zoom on her chest, which would have tripped the censors a little bit more? Like, I am curious as to how that whole video went. I don't trust her narrative on this because she seems to have far more issue with it than anyone else. I think, to be honest, her content is a little bit more heavily monitored, at least by the algorithm, the censorship algorithm or whatever, because she's been tripped manually so many times for being very toxic and, for lack of a better term, almost abusive in the comments. Like, we've seen her go after people whole ham, and it's just nuts, and most people would not have agreed with how she's gone after people in the past, like making videos calling them fucking idiots, calling them there was a time when she went like on a full swearing rant, and of course people flagged that. And so I think Marissa's content specifically is more heavily monitored, and the censors, any like programming that's there to look for censorship is probably going to be set at a higher sensitivity level for her because there's been so many legitimate violations on her account. I'm showing this one only because she goes, how is this under review? Okay, so fair enough. I didn't see too much wrong with this, hardly anything at all. Like, there is a little bit when it's close up where, like, it's barely covering her right here. That could trip censors for under review sort of stuff, I guess. But I'm going to say that chances are her account is more heavily monitored because she's been hit with manual people, like, reporting her account and stuff before. And she'll say this is because she's fat, but she's also just been very toxic and rude. And that's going to cause people to, like, flag her account more. And when people see it, and when she's calling people fucking idiots and going through a whole rant that's screaming at the camera, that anyone who's reviewing it is going to say, no, that's also bullying. And so then the flagging gets validated, which means that her account has probably more previous activities in violations on community guidelines than previously, so it's probably also just more heavily monitored in general.
Tonight the music seems so loud. I wish that we could lose this crowd. Maybe it's better this way. We'd hurt each other with the things we want to say.
Okay. Last one we'll watch with her testing stuff, but this one was under review too. I will admit I'm a little surprised that this one was flagged. I didn't really see anything wrong with this one. At least nothing that she hasn't done in other videos. So my final guess on why she gets like put under review so much is probably just because of the history of her account.
I'm not sorry. I won't apologize to nobody.
This one just says my fat body is not a violation. I think you're over equating it with the size of your body. I think it's more likely that you were flagged so much in the past. I mean, your account has a long history of bullying violations, community guideline violations in general. It's been censored. You have not been able to upload before. Like, I don't even remember for sure if this is like her original account or if this was a backup account. She's had a lot of issues on TikTok, so it doesn't surprise me if perhaps her stuff is just more heavily monitored and more heavily scrutinized. I don't think it's because she's fat, though. I think it's because she's had such toxic behaviors in the past on this platform that TikTok isn't taking any more chances with her. And so a lot of shit ends up in review, even if it doesn't necessarily need to be.
I'm leaving at 4 p.m. and I don't care what anyone says.
Maybe if you had a business that you were passionate about, then you would know what it takes to run a business, but you don't. So don't even act like you know what I'm talking about.
So her initial caption says, "Fat person exists." And then the 3 following captions are, "You don't deserve basic human respect, get off the internet, and go to the gym and eat less." So I just want to address these. I don't believe anyone has ever said to her, "You don't deserve basic human respect." I think she's interpreted it as this whenever anyone gives her the slightest bit of criticism. Get off the internet has been said a lot, I'm sure, to her, but I don't think it's in relation to her being fat. It's in relation to her weird concept of consent and some of the other shit that she said. Go to the gym and eat less. This probably falls under unwanted diet advice. I'm not surprised if people actually were to give her advice like this. It's part and parcel with being. Caption she has it says, "When someone says it's my fault, they are mad about my body." LOL. I gotta be honest, I don't think that someone said this to her. I think someone has pointed out toxic behavior. She's like, "You just hate me because I'm fat," and they're like, "No, I hate you, because of how you act." And she's twisted it in this, because that's what Marissa does. Marissa twists things in ways to make herself the victim. I don't think anyone has been like this specifically with her.
You ready? Let's go.
So, this is a stitch with Mindful Dr. Paula, and it says signs of an eating disorder, which are apparently cheat days, won't drink calories or macros, eat in secret, try to trick hunger, never feel full, compare what you eat to other people. So, I don't think cheat days are a sign of an eating disorder. That's just you making what you... Oh, you count calories was another one. So, if you count calories, it's an eating disorder. So, It looks like what it was cheat days, won't drink calories, you count calories or macros. That was how that went. So I don't like to drink my calories because it doesn't fill me up. There's like no real, there's not, unless it's like a whole fruit smoothie, like where you're putting full fruit and like full vegetables in, and it's not just juice or something. There's little benefit in drinking your calories the vast majority of the time. Now there's some things that people do. I'm not interested in getting into arguments. Some people do like to drink some of their calories. That's fine. I'm wrong. There's protein shakes too. I like my protein shakes, but I use it as a meal replacement. I have it instead of eating regular food for my breakfast typically, because I don't like eating actual food. My stomach doesn't handle actual food well first thing in the morning. But you counting calories is not a sign of an eating disorder. Putting all of these things as signs of eating disorders is going to make it harder for those with actual eating disorders in to see the doctor, because everyone's going to think that they have an eating disorder just because they're being mindful of what they eat. Like, it's just, I think this is a bad take. I think this is someone acting very poorly and demonizing everything about watching and being mindful of what you eat is a good way to push someone in the complete opposite direction and demonize getting healthier. I think I think this is very bad. Oh, anxiety around unplanned food. That one is kind of a hit or miss. It depends on how much anxiety you have about it. If you're a little hesitant because you're like, oh, I didn't plan for that, you know, I'll just be better tomorrow, or no, I just won't eat that, then I don't think that's a big idea. If it causes you a lot of anxiety, then it might be a bit of an issue. Eat in secret. I agree with that. I knew someone that I had a family member once that we think had an eating disorder because they would never eat in front of people and they were very, very thin. Tried to trick hunger. I'm not sure what this means. I think they use this in terms of like the people that say drink a full glass of water before you eat, which I don't think is trying to trick hunger. Sometimes when you're really thirsty, it can manifest as hunger, and by drinking some water, you can find out if you're really thirsty or you're really hungry. So I don't think that's, and eating foods with like high fiber to make you fuller on fewer calories, I don't think that's trying to trick hunger either. I think that's trying to make wise food choices. You never feel full. Now, to me, if you're never feeling full and you're eating a normal amount, it could be one, sometimes you do have a little bit of hunger. It should never be like you're starving yourself, but when I'm pretty consistently cutting down my calories, or the way I work is I tend to like to have specific times that I eat during the day and a specific amount. It just works for me better that way. Although I'm still struggling a bit in the evening, which is when I really want a snack. So I'm still working on that. But for breakfast and lunch, I have these very specific things that I eat every day, and lunch is always lighter, and it will never make me feel full. I think being full, aiming for that like really full feeling every time you eat isn't very helpful. I think I think you should aim to feel satiated, you should feel satisfied, but not, oh my god, I'm so full. I don't think that that's necessarily something to aim for either. I think that can be an issue in and of itself. If you're aiming to feel like overly full, your stomach really stretched full every time you eat, that's a bit of an issue too. I understand the comfort in that feeling when I was like, at one point when my weight was a little more, when I was eating more like shit, I guess is the best way to put this. And I would eat until my stomach felt that full. I was also very depressed, and it can be a comforting feeling to be really full. So I think if you're aiming to feel really, really full every time, maybe you just like the feeling, but it could also be a form of comfort that maybe you need. Alright, right, so she had three or four captions on this. So diets don't work. I agree with this. I think lifestyle changes are what you need. If you do something with the intent of it being temporary, you're never going to have a sustainable change. Next caption is going on diet after diet is just weight cycling. I'm not going to get into the whole weight cycling thing, but I think going on diet after diet isn't necessarily a positive thing. I think it's not necessarily a negative thing, though, because I think there's a little bit of a process going through that. I think if you're doing fad diet after fad diet, try to stop that and try to find a consistent diet, as in what you eat nutritionally, that works well for you. But going on fad diet after fad diet isn't going to be sustainable at all, and it's not really going to be very helpful to you. And the third one says, weight cycling and chronic dieting harms your body more than just staying the same. I disagree with this. It's something, though, that I would need to be able to look up and find a study on, which we're pretty much out of time, so I'm not going to do that today. But I'm pretty sure there's been... Well, we'll just use the... Well, no, because I'm going to put this up before the Fat Doctor UK, but you'll see something in the Fat Doctor UK that showed attempts to lose weight lowered mortality risk. So I think chronic dieting is only really an issue if you're doing, like, chronic crash dieting. This is just a talking point in the fat acceptance community. I don't think Marissa has put any like significant thought behind this. And we're going to go ahead and end it there. I don't have much to say, and unfortunately I really got to go. So I'm just going to say thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.